Have you ever wondered how someone observing Ramadan in, say, Iceland might fast for nearly 20 hours, while someone in Chile fasts for just 11? It's the same holy month, the same act of faith, but the experience on the ground is wildly different. Well, today, we're going to unpack exactly why that is. And first, just to get a sense of the scale here, we're talking about an observance shared by over 1.8 billion Muslims all around the world. It's this incredible, synchronized spiritual practice that spans literally every time zone on the planet. So here's how we're going to figure this out. We'll start with the moon, then get into the unique calendar that follows it. After that, we'll see how geography creates this tale of two hemispheres, what happens when daylight gets a little weird, and finally, how it all comes together in a beautiful form of unity. Right, so it all begins with this. For more than 1 billion people, the start of Ramadan is triggered by a single powerful celestial event, the sighting of the new crescent moon. And just as a quick refresher, Ramadan is the 9th month in the Islamic calendar. It's a really sacred time for fasting. That means no food or water from dawn all the way until sunset. And it's also a time for deeper prayer and personal reflection. Okay, to really get to the bottom of our question about fasting hours, we need to look past the map for a second. The real reason this all happens, it actually starts with the calendar itself. And this, right here, is the key, the Hijri calendar. You see, unlike the solar calendar that most of the world uses, the Islamic calendar is purely lunar. That means its months are dictated entirely by the cycles of the moon. You can kind of think of it like having two watches that run at slightly different speeds. The lunar year comes in at about 354 days, but the solar year, the one we're all used to, is about 365 days. Now, that little difference might not seem like much, but it really adds up. And here's the result of that gap. Every single year, the entire Islamic calendar, Ramadan included, actually shifts backward by about 11 days relative to the seasons. It's constantly moving. So this is where that calendar drift has a huge, dramatic impact. You combine that shifting calendar with our planet's geography, and what you get is a tale of two very different hemispheres. What this means, and this is the crucial part, is that over a roughly 33-year cycle, Ramadan will pass through every single season. So one year you might be fasting during the short, cool days of winter, and a decade or so later, you could be fasting during the long, hot days of summer. And the difference this makes is just wow. It's staggering. When Ramadan falls in the Northern Hemisphere's summer, someone in Greenland could be looking at a fast of almost 20 hours. But at the exact same time, it's winter down in the Southern Hemisphere. So in a place like Chile, the fast is just a little over 11 hours. And you see this pattern all over the world. Countries way up north, we're talking Iceland, Norway, Sweden, they consistently have some of the longest fasts. And at the same time, countries way down south, like New Zealand, Argentina, South Africa, experience the shortest. Okay, so this huge variation brings up a fascinating problem, both practically and theologically. I mean, what are you supposed to do when the sun just doesn't follow the normal rules of dawn and dusk? Exactly, think about places in the Arctic Circle during summer when you have the midnight sun, or during winter when it's dark all day long. How can you possibly fast from dawn till dusk if dawn and dusk are minutes apart or just don't happen at all? Well, the answer is actually really elegant and compassionate. Islamic scholars have established a ruling for this. It says that in these extreme situations, Muslims can follow the fasting times of a city with more moderate hours, like the holy city of Mecca, or even just a nearby city that isn't so extreme. So the process is beautifully simple, really. You just identify that, yep, the local daylight hours are kind of impossible to work with. Then you adopt a schedule from Mecca or a closer city. The whole point is to make sure the fast is still meaningful without becoming a physically impossible burden. It's all about balance. So even with all these incredible differences, different hours, different seasons, different challenges, we get to what is maybe the most important point of all. The spiritual purpose of the month is the same for everyone, no matter where they are. All right, so let's do a quick recap. We've seen that the physical experience can be totally different, from as little as 11 hours of fasting to as much as 20. And it's all because of a lunar calendar that's always drifting through the seasons. We've also seen how smart, compassionate rules make it possible to observe the fast even in the most extreme parts of the world. But through it all, that shared spiritual purpose is what ties everyone together. When you think about it, the variation in Ramadan's fasting hours isn't a problem to be solved. It's actually this amazing example of how a universal faith adapts to the physical reality of our planet. It shows you how one single unifying idea can be lived out by billions of different people in billions of different ways, no matter where on this earth they call home.
If you like our video, please hit the like button. Thanks for watching.